The Sixers lose to the Toronto Raptors 121-112. Another epic, classic, vintage third quarter collapse after being up by 3 at halftime. Who's to blame? Let's talk about it.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you gotta keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else should touch the ball right here. He shoots it from the logo. Oh, we're going overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome to Run It Back Philly Sixers postgame live presented by Bright Medical Technology. Before I get into possibly a couple of rants, because I know it's early in the season, but I can feel it. I can feel it getting there. You know what I'm saying? I got to talk about Bright Medical first. We got to keep the lights on, man. The Sixers came up short. If you've been coming up short in the bedroom, you need to call Bright Medical. Bright Medical offers generic Viagra, Sildenafil, and Cialis Tadalafil, 30 tablets for $40 delivered to your door. This is the lowest cost in the area. All you need to do is call 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337. When you call, mention Run It Back Philly, and you'll get 10% off your first month's supply. Bright Medical Technology is Pennsylvania's largest medical supply company with products and solutions for patients from all ages, infants to seniors. A family-owned business right in Philadelphia, PA, and they are Sixers sickos. Bright Medical takes all calls in-house, no automated call system, and speaks 9 languages. The Sixers fell flat again. If you are tired of falling flat, you need to call Bright Medical. Thank you to Bright Medical for sponsoring the channel and the postgame live show for the whole season. Let's get down to business. Be active in the chat. I got a couple of takes, and then we're going to do a chat Q&A. So be active in the chat. Members of the channel first. Super chats first. Let's talk, man. The Philadelphia 76ers made a run in the second quarter. Ended the second quarter on a 13-3 run to be up by 3 at halftime. Here we are again. We were in the chat and we were saying, are we going to have another third quarter collapse, or are we going to survive? We've seen it basically every game this season so far. Basically every game. We see this team totally collapse in the third quarter. And I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. When it's the third quarter every single game, you know exactly what it is. Anyway, it was the third quarter again. They did not sustain it. They did not survive the third quarter. They absolutely collapsed in the third quarter again. I feel like I could just play these post-game live shows on a recorded replay because I'm saying the same thing after every game. This one might have been one of the worst I've seen as far as third quarter collapses go. Again, they go into the third quarter up by 3. The Raptors start the third quarter on a 12-2 run. Bang. They end the third quarter down by 15. You go into the third quarter up by 3. You come out of the third quarter down by 15. It's Groundhog Day. I am literally waking up every Sixers game, and it's Groundhog Day. I wake up, I roll out of bed, somebody punches me in the face. I wake up, I roll out of bed, I say, oh, Sixers game tonight. Maybe somebody won't punch me in the face today. Nope. Same guy, same time, same exact spot. Bang, punch me in the face again. Sixers in the third quarter. Not only did they collapse, go into the third up by 3 and leave down by 15, they gave up 44 points in the third quarter. So the third quarter was a combination of 2 things. And there's 3 points I think I want to make about the third quarter. First of all, the Sixers have a roster issue, obviously. They got $200 million. They have $100 million on the bench, Joel Embiid and Paul George, because they can't play 2 games in 2 nights. Even though they're on a minutes restriction, they couldn't possibly play 20 minutes of basketball 2 nights in a row. No. That would be way too much work for hundreds of millions of dollars. Jared McCain's not back all the way yet. He had a great showing in his time in this game. So the Sixers have a roster issue. They're not healthy, and they haven't been healthy, I feel like, for 10 straight years. But that's the main issue. Now, when you look at the game and who's on the floor and the fact that the Sixers were still performing even with those roster flaws and they still should have won the game, when you go into halftime up by 3, you shouldn't leave the third quarter down by 15. You shouldn't give up 44 points in the third quarter. You start to look at the coach. When it's the third quarter every game, you start to look at the coach. Because what are you guys doing at halftime? Right? And here's exactly what happened. The Toronto Raptors adjusted at halftime. And they came out and they had a clear strategy. Tyrese Maxey is cooking us. We can't stop him one-on-one. We can't. You can't stop him one-on-one. You can't. If you play out too far, he blows by you, he gets in the lane. If you back up, he shoots a 30-footer. Tyrese had 12 in the first quarter. I don't know what he had by halftime, but he was cooking again. The NBA's leading scorer this year. He was completely unstoppable for 2 quarters. And then the Toronto Raptors adjusted. They said, our only chance to win this game is to completely take the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hands, and they started defending him like prime James Harden or Steph Curry. Make somebody else beat you. And this Sixers team, look, when you're forcing the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hands, you're forcing Quentin Grimes or VJ Edgecombe to beat you from the perimeter. VJ's a rookie, and he had a couple of runs in this game that sparked a lot of energy and a momentum change and almost brought us back into it. So I'm not saying anything negative about VJ, but he's 20 years old. You know, he still drives the lane and attacks 3 defenders. He still kind of passes up some lanes sometimes when he has a lane to the rim. When he tries to lay it in, it looks like he's throwing a rock at the side of a building. There's a lot of things that will come along as VJ Edgecombe develops. This is why you're not supposed to be relying on a 20-year-old player to save you or to be your second option. A 20-year-old player can't be your second option. And Quentin Grimes is just... He's Quentin Grimes. He's super inconsistent. He looks great sometimes. Sometimes he looks terrible. Sometimes he has turnover issues. Sometimes he catches fire and looks like a $25 million player. Sometimes he doesn't. You know, which is probably why he didn't get that contract. And I'm not saying anything negative about Quentin Grimes here either. But the Sixers' second option in the third quarter wasn't good enough. They forced the ball out of Maxey's hands. And that was pretty much it. There's that. And there's the center issue in the third quarter. You see, the 76ers are playing without their $500 million center, Joel Embiid. Dembona has a sprained ankle. They do have a third center on the roster. Technically, his name is Janai Broome. So I thought, the last 2 games, we're going to at least see Janai Broome for a couple of minutes to see if he can defend in the NBA or not. Right? Oh, no. Oh, no. Not with Nicholas Nurse in charge. Not with Nicky Nurse in the cockpit. Not with Nicky Nurse driving the family van. Oh, no. We're not trying that. What are we doing? We're going small ball. The whole third quarter. Jabari Walker at center. Getting destroyed. Dominic Barlow at center. Getting destroyed. This reminds me of Nick Nurse playing Yabusele at center all last season. Getting destroyed. Now, to be fair, I don't think Janai Broome would have done any better because I think Janai Broome is actually less athletic than both of those guys. And when I'm watching Jabari Walker fail to get out on a three-point shooter 3 plays in a row, I can't picture Janai Broome in that situation and think that he would get out on the shooter any faster than that. I didn't think Janai Broome was an NBA draft pick. I thought he was going to go undrafted. He has a lot of offensive skill. He was in college for 4 years for a reason. He's one of the slowest guys in the NBA, and he had the worst 40 vertical at vertical at the combine. He can't jump. So I don't think there's an answer there as far as what do we do at backup center in the second half of the third quarter when Andre Drummond goes off the floor. And Andre Drummond is a backup center. Let's call it what it is. So we're starting a backup center, and then we don't have a backup center, so we're just going no center, and they destroyed us. Like anybody could have predicted. Jakob Poeltl under the rim 100 times. 100 times. Jakob Poeltl scored 357 points in this game in the paint. And it was easy to predict, and it's going to happen the whole season if Joel Embiid is not out there, because Joel Embiid is the roster construction is what it is. Joel Embiid is the starting center, and Andre Drummond is the backup center. And when that is thrown out, you end up with either Janai Broome, who Nick Nurse hasn't played yet, or no center at all. And that's how you end up giving up 44 points in the third quarter. They took the ball out of Maxi's hands. The second options weren't good enough. And then when Andre Drummond went out of the game, we played no center at all, and they destroyed us. So just to hammer it home, just to double down, let's go over to the third quarter and look at what happened. 44 in the third. Third quarter here. Sixers went on that 11-2 run at the end of the second. And then the Raptors opened the third quarter with a 12-3 run, I believe. And then the Raptors end the third quarter in 3 minutes with a 15-5 run. Points in the paint, 56. I feel like 52 of those came from Jakob Poeltl under the rim and Scotty Barnes under the rim in the third quarter. Points off turnovers, 31. And that's, to me, from what I remember, I would say that was the beginning of the third quarter, a lot of them, when they were forcing the ball out of Maxi's hands and Grimes was turning the ball over and VJ was dribbling the ball off his leg. And, you know, and Maxi had some bad turnovers too. Maxi had a bad turnover in the fourth where he tried to get in the lane. It was a double team. Instead of taking a bad shot, he tried to throw it back out to Grimes. And Grimes, I mean, it just wasn't even close to him. Maxi just threw it out of bounds. But there it is, man. There's another epic third quarter collapse. And I don't know if I'm going to blame Nick Nurse for the third quarter collapse. I mean, I'm blaming Nick Nurse because of what the hell do you do at halftime that every single time the other team comes out in the third quarter, you get destroyed, right? It feels like the other team adjusts and Nick Nurse continues to do the same thing. But at the same time, your second option is a 20-year-old kid. That's a roster issue. And at the same time, your backup center in this game is a guy, Janai Broome, who probably shouldn't have been drafted into the NBA. So Nurse isn't even putting him on the floor. That's a roster issue. So I don't really know what Nick Nurse could do roster-wise or lineup-wise to help out that third quarter. But I also want to know what the hell you do at halftime to constantly get destroyed in the third. That's what I want to know. I'm going to read over my notes here because I got a couple other things I want to talk about, and then we're going to go straight Q&A because I want to hear your guys' takes. I want to hear your opinions on everything. And I want a little bit of a break from taking Discord calls, so we're just going to go Q&A in the chat. Sicko Nation members first. Super Chats first. And just give me your takes in the chat, man. Your best take, your worst take, whatever you think about the game, whatever you think about anything, and I'll read it. Here's Eastwood's notes. This segment is called Eastwood's Notes. Here's what I wrote down. Jared McCain got his first bucket this season in the first quarter. That was nice to see. I guess I wanted to talk about Jared McCain, right? He got a little mid-range jumper, and he celebrated it, which was funny. He was kind of trolling himself. I like that. He hit a three off a screen, a ball screen on the left side, one dribble with the left hand, deep three. That was beautiful. And so I'm happy Nick Nurse gave Jared McCain those minutes. And Jared McCain is coming along slowly. And a lot of the issue in this game with the Raptors taking the ball out of Maxi's hands and forcing somebody else to beat you, if Jared McCain can get back to what he was doing last year before he tore his meniscus, then that problem is all but solved because your second unit has Jared McCain in it, right? And that's what happened in the first half, and it was nice to see. The second half, third quarter, Grimes and VJ weren't getting it done as the second option, especially when Maxey went to the bench. Nurse brought McCain out again, didn't have as much success, right? Was forcing it a lot, had a couple of bad turnovers, forced a couple of bad shots. So he seemed like he was in rhythm and was more himself in the first half and then struggled in the second half. But Jared McCain's coming along. So that issue, I think, will be solved as the season goes on because I just believe so much in Jared McCain and what he can do with the ball in his hands that when, and he ran a Maxey McCain lineup too in this game, which I liked. I would have liked to see McCain on ball more in that lineup. I don't like to see McCain out there standing in the corner when I feel like he's the guy that should be running the pick and roll. When Maxey McCain are in the same lineup, I feel like Maxey should be the one off ball running around screens, getting set up, getting downhill. I still don't think Nick Nurse understands that Jared McCain has point guard tendencies. But I like what I saw from Jared McCain, and I think that a second option ball handler is solved if Jared McCain can get back to what he was doing at the before he tore his meniscus last year. VJ run end of second quarter after I talk trash. That's what this note says. And yeah, I was, the first quarter, right at the start of the second quarter, I was talking about how VJ is not being aggressive. And he passed up a couple of lanes to the rim, a couple of drives where he, I just need you to take that. Just go hard, make a decision and go for it, But he's young. And so when he gets blocked at the rim or something, then he starts to lose confidence and then he doesn't want to attack the rim again, right? And his layups looks like he's throwing a rock at a wall. I said that. But as soon as I started to say that about VJ, he went on a little bit of a run. And the Sixers ended the second quarter on a 9-0 run, and that was on the back of VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe sparked a comeback for the 76ers in the second quarter. He also sparked a comeback in the fourth quarter. They put themselves in a hole in the third. They come into the fourth quarter down by 15. They're taking the ball out of Maxey's hand every possession. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make something happen? 20-year-old VJ Edgecombe comes through again. Playing tough defense, getting hands in passing lanes, straight stripping guys of the ball, the drive and dunk on the fast break. VJ led a serious momentum change at the beginning of the fourth that led to the Sixers getting back in the game. Andre Drummond had back-to-back steals in that fourth quarter. And the one steal and then the fast break dunk. So Andre Drummond playing some tough defense, getting it done was another large reason the Sixers clawed back from that 15-point deficit. Quentin Grimes was part of it in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back threes for Quentin Grimes. And the second one you just knew was going in because he was feeling himself. So it's like everything the Sixers couldn't do in the third quarter, they couldn't find somebody to step up and make something happen. They did it all in the fourth quarter, but they were already down by 15 going into the fourth quarter, so it wasn't enough. If they could have just survived that third, they probably could have won the game. Like mathematically, And then the game ends on the 76ers leaving Emmanuel quickly wide open for 2 possessions in a row. And the Sixers still have this overhelping issue. Well, they still have an issue where I feel like Joel Embiid's drop coverage on pick and rolls has rubbed off on everybody else. I saw Jabari Walker do it 7 times this game. Simple ball screen. Jabari Walker 10 feet off the shooter. Emmanuel quickly wide open top of the key. RJ Barrett wide open top of the key. Didn't matter who it was. Saw Jabari Walker do it a lot. I saw Andre Drummond do it a lot. And I don't know what the strategy is defensively. I thought Nick Nurse was supposed to be a defensive coach, but it doesn't seem like he's telling these guys to run to the shooter on the 3-point line, And then down in the fourth, we climb all the way back from that 15-point deficit and 2 possessions in a row. The one that really pissed me off was Brandon Ingram on VJ Edgecombe. Because VJ, he's shorter than Brandon Ingram, but he was playing tough defense. And he actually got a hand on the ball. And Ingram lost the ball for a second. But we got Tyrese Maxey double-teaming him for no reason. VJ's doing fine, holding his ground, even gets a hand on the ball, but Tyrese Maxey's double-teaming because for some reason, that's the strategy. Double-team Brandon Ingram and leave Emmanuel quickly wide open for 3. Now, it would be okay if you had a double-team and a rotation, like a structured NBA defense, but the Sixers double-team and nobody rotates because I'm convinced they don't practice. I'm convinced they don't go over anything. So Maxey brings a double to Brandon Ingram. He kicks it out. I mean, it's such a simple play. Draw the double, kick it out, wide open three. Where is the rotation? Why are we over-helping on Brandon Ingram? He only had 2 points in the fourth quarter. I don't understand any of it. Emmanuel quickly, wide open three. Next possession, maybe 2 possessions later, Emmanuel quickly, simple ball screen. Andre Drummond camping in the lane, wide open three for Emmanuel quickly. And that ended it, basically. The annoying part also was, let me just make this an hour-long podcast of just what was annoying about this game. The last thing that I want to say that was annoying was Nick Nurse refused to call a timeout with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Once that second Emmanuel quickly three, when Emmanuel quickly hit that three, the Raptors went up by 8. That was the run right there that put us away. There was 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. And he had 2 timeouts left. I thought he was definitely calling a timeout with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to at least attempt to change the energy and the strategy and make a push in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But he didn't call a timeout at all. He just let the run happen. He let the offense stall. He did not call a timeout, and it continued to happen until the Raptors went up, 11? And then guess what? He called a damn timeout, down by 9 with 32 seconds left. That's when you call the timeout, Nicky Nurse? When you're down by 9 with 32 seconds left. Oh, let me see if I can stop the bleeding now with 32 whole metric seconds left on the clock. I don't know if it's metric or I don't think that's a word that belongs there at all, but that didn't make sense to me either. The Sixers have a roster issue. They have $100 million on the bench. Jared McCain's not up to speed yet. And Nick Nurse is also a bad basketball coach. It's those two things together, to me. I think you can win despite Nick Nurse the same way you can win despite Doc Rivers, the same way you can win despite, Mike Budenholzer, despite Tom Thibodeau. You can win, but you got to have the right players on the floor. You got to have the right players active. Now, if Paul George continues to ramp up and is actually the Paul George we signed, right, because he looked good last game, and if Jared McCain gets up to speed and starts doing what he did last season, and Joel Embiid actually plays basketball, then the Sixers are a good team. But until those things happen, if they don't get Paul George and Joel Embiid on the floor consistently, they are a first-round exit, and that's not a diss to Tyrese Maxey at all. What he's doing is incredible, but he's going to average 40 points per game, and they're going to lose like the first couple years of Michael Jordan's career. Because everybody needs a team. Those are all my takes. Let me go to the chat. Let's do Q&A in the chat. Super chats first, members first. But you don't have to be a member or super chat to get your chat read on the screen. I'm going to read a lot of the chat. This is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. I use NBA League Pass to rewatch NBA games, the condensed version, 30-minute version. It's amazing. It's on NBA League Pass. I use it all the time. I love NBA League Pass, and I use it on my phone. Sometimes I'm out at a bar just watching random NBA games. I'll watch the Wizards versus the Hornets on a Thursday night. I don't care. DraftKings right now is offering 3 free months of NBA League Pass when you bet $5 and your bet wins. You will get $300 in bonus bets and 3 free months of NBA League Pass. All you got to do is use the code RUNITBACK and bet $5. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets and 3 free months of NBA League Pass. Only from DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 303 in the stream. Hit the like button for me one time. Give me 300 likes. And give me your takes in the chat, man. Give me your takes in the chat. DMLG. This loss was 100% coaching. Awful lineups, awful strategy, awful clock management, awful everything. I think Nick Nurse is bad. I've thought he was bad last year. I think he's bad. I haven't seen anything impressive from Nick Nurse in 2 years here in Philly. I think he argues with officials all game. I don't think he actually coaches. And when you see what happens, especially in the third quarter, I don't think they practice. I don't think they watch film. I don't think they talk to each other. None of it makes any sense. But I can't say awful lineups because the 76ers are playing with one center and he's a backup center, Andre Drummond. What's he supposed to do? What do you do when Andre Drummond goes to the bench? He goes Jabari Walker at center. He goes Dominic Barlow at center. Janai Broome would have got his ass kicked too. I would have rather Nick Nurse at least attempt it. I would have at least him put Janai Broome out there. See what he's got. You're already getting destroyed in the third. Might as well put Janai out there for 5 minutes, see what he's got. But I don't think he would have changed it. And the Raptors' strategy in the third quarter to trap Maxey every play, the second option wasn't good enough. You're relying on a 20-year-old and Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes can be great sometimes. He can be really bad sometimes. I think realistically, Quentin Grimes is a come-off-the-bench guy. I think realistically, VJ Edgecombe is a come-off-the-bench guy. So I don't think this roster is good enough. So I don't really think there's much Nick Nurse could have done in this game anyway, but I agree that he was bad, and he was definitely bad at clock management. I agree with that. CrossFitter 97. They need more creativity on offense. Too much strain to constantly just tell Maxey to clear out and make something out of nothing. The funny thing is, that's actually Nick Nurse's strategy. Did you know this? Now, you can call me Unk. You can call me whatever you want. I've started using ChatGPT lately because it scours the internet and tells me all the answers right away because I don't have to surf the internet. I don't have to look for the answers, right? But I'm really trying to figure out what Nick Nurse's offensive strategy really is, right? What actually is it? And I know if I ask ChatGPT, it's going to scan Reddit forums and NBA pages that for years that have ever existed all in a split second and give me the answer. You know what the answer it gave me? Ask ChatGPT right now what Nick Nurse's offensive strategy is. His offensive strategy is 5 out or 4 out, 1 in, and put stress on the defense with quick guards in ISO situations. When we complain about the 76ers running ISO ball the whole game, that is literally Nick Nurse's number one strategy. That's why you see it so much. It's legitimately his strategy. Is to run a 4 out, 1 in or a 5 out and play ISO ball. Now, I understand the philosophy to an extent when you have Tyrese Maxey, because Tyrese Maxey is impossible to guard, especially right now. He's absolutely in his prime. He's the best guard in a 76ers uniform I've seen since Allen Iverson. He's unstoppable. If you step too far out, he's blowing by you and getting in the lane. If you back up too far, he's shooting a 30-footer, and he's shooting 43% from three. Tyrese Maxey is absolutely ridiculous right now. So playing ISO ball makes sense to an extent, right? But when the team decides to just trap Maxey and force him to get rid of the ball, like I said, James Harden in his prime, right when he crosses half court, just double him, make him give it to someone else. What's your answer to that, Nick Nurse? Once they're trapping Maxey, what's your answer? Are you going to counter? Are you going to adjust? Are you going to do something else? Do you have a plan B? No. Much like Doc Rivers, he has an offensive strategy. He runs it. If it doesn't work, he just continues to run it. Just like the small ball lineup was getting destroyed in the paint. Do you try something else there? Maybe Janai Broome? No. You just keep running it, and you give up 44 points in the third quarter. So I agree they need more creativity on offense, but that is literally Nick Nurse's strategy, is no creativity. Now, they do some plays sometimes, right, where they'll give the ball to VJ and Maxey will come off a double screen up top to get him going downhill, but it just feels like they run like a scripted play maybe like 4 or 5 times throughout the game, but most of it is 4 or 5 out ISO ball. And I would like to see those plays run a lot more, right? But you never really see a player take the ball, back up, and call a play. This isn't an offense where there's like 5 or 6 plays that the point guard can run. There's no point guard. It's just pickup ball. And you can tell sometimes that there was a play called by Nick Nurse on the sideline. But if he's not calling the play directly, and if the play fizzles out in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock, then there's no second play run. There's nobody to get the ball, bring it back, run a pick and roll, and run another play. So we can complain about Nick Nurse's ISO ball, but that is legitimately Nick Nurse's strategy. And the Raptors come in, bro. The Raptors, his former team, comes in and beats him in Philly. The team that fired him because he wasn't developing young talent, fired him because they were all in on Scotty Barnes and they didn't think Coach Nick Nurse was the right guy for Scotty Barnes' development. Fired him. 2 years later, the Raptors come in and beat Nick Nurse. You should have a better team than the Raptors 2 years after they fired you. You should be better than the Toronto Raptors because you were a lottery team when they fired you. So they were a lottery team, they fired you, and 2 years later, they're better than your team? Bro. Are you kidding me? What else we got in the chat, man? And then we're going to go over to Twitter and read some tweets from Sixers reporters. Let's see. What you guys got, man? Give me your takes. Give me your takes, man. Nick Nurse would be a horrible Texas Hold'em player. All in. To be fair, we are a lottery team. We were a lottery team last year. Who's we? The Sixers? Well, yeah, we were, but we were playing Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, and Reggie Jackson. Any team that runs a lineup of all three of those guys is a lottery team. The Sixers are a lot better this year, roster-wise. They have a lot more speed. They have a lot more youth. They have a lot more athleticism. They have versatile forwards. They have guards that can dribble and shoot. The roster is so much better than it was last year. They should not be as bad as they were last year. And if they are, then it's time to fire Nick Nurse. Is somebody clamoring for Janai Broom? Y'all act like putting Broom out there is going to slow us up like y'all don't know ball. Y'all just saying anything. Listen to run it back, but go study the game. Sorry, what are you talking about, bro? Janai Broom is slow and cannot jump. What do you think is going to happen if they put him out there? With Machiavelli and Jakob Poeltl and Scotty Barnes crashing the paint. Do you really think 6'9", 235 and can't jump over a Pepsi can, Janai Broom, is going to defend those guys any better than Jabari Walker and Dominic Barlow did? And I would like to know how you think that. I'm being respectful here. We're cool. I've seen you in the chat plenty of times. We've always been cool, bro. I'm just chopping it up and giving you my opinion. I can't fathom how you think Janai Broom, who shouldn't have been drafted, was going to change anything. I don't. It doesn't make sense. Like we're talking about George Niang with a tan. We're talking about George Niang with a tan. That's what we're talking about. And George Niang would get cooked too. Did you know the Sixers have the worst? That's just my opinion. I wasn't a Janai Broom fan. My reaction to the Janai Broom draft pick, I thought I made a YouTube video. I didn't, but I was at a bar with my girlfriend and I was screaming at the TV. Dude, it was a Thursday night. I'm watching the second round of the NBA draft. Nobody in the building was watching the second round of the NBA draft, and I was yelling at the TV. The bartenders looked at me like, what's wrong with this guy? I'm like, the Sixers just drafted a dude who can't run and can't jump out of the second round when they need an athletic rebounding center. I thought it was a terrible draft pick. And I haven't seen him on the NBA floor yet, but clearly he's not looking too good at practice because Nick Nurse won't even play him. Nick Nurse will rather go no center than Janai Broom, dude. And we got to call it what it is. If Nick Nurse is going no center over Janai Broom is bad. Let's call it what it is. We drafted a G League guy. in the second round. That's what I think. But you're entitled to your opinion, man. And I respect it, man. I respect everybody's opinion, man. Not trading up from the 35th pick. Yeah, I thought they should have traded up and took Kalkbrenner, it was, right? Kalkbrenner. Yeah. Yeah. What do we got here? What do we got? We were injured, but even healthy, Sixers were 9-7 in those games. I have to admit you were right. The Raptors aren't a 9-5 team. They are a 10-5 team. Hey, the Raptors beat the Cavs twice. I don't know. I didn't look at the rosters in those games, so I don't know what players were on the floor for the Cavs. They played a lot of games without Darius Garland this season. The Raptors beat a bunch of bad teams to be 9-5. Let's call it what it is. The Sixers should have beat them tonight. They are deep. The Raptors are deep. I'm not here to talk about the Raptors and act like the Raptors aren't deep. The Raptors are deep. I don't think the Raptors have a superstar that can take them to the next level and take them deep into the playoffs. I think they're a trade away. I think they're a trade for a star player away. But they got depth. They got depth. They hustle. They got interior defense and rebounding and guys that can shoot and pass the ball and create offense. R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes. You know, Jacoby Walter was cooking us, bro. Jacoby Walter was cooking us. Let's go over to the Sixers reporters on Twitter, see if they got anything good for us before we get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Do me a favor, hit the like button. 261 in here. Give me 261 likes. 33 minutes ago, Austin Krell, Sixers reporter, gives us Nick Nurse is unsure about the availabilities of Embiid or George for tomorrow in Milwaukee. Now that better just be Nick Nurse trolling or just choosing to not say anything to the reporters or just choosing to not answer the question. That better be Nick Nurse just choosing to not answer the question. If Joel Embiid and Paul George don't play against Milwaukee tomorrow, I am done with this team. I am sick of this shit. What are we doing? This is the second fucking year in a row of this nonsense. You really just gonna sit these guys out their whole damn contract? For real? And they can't play. What should we do? Just sit them out. Oh, so we should still pay them $50 million a year? Yeah, man, we signed it. We can't. There's nothing we can. No, we just got to pay them and sit them out. Yeah, give them all the money. Well, we're not going to win then, and the fans are going to be mad, and then nobody's going to come to the arena, and then we're not going to sell any merch, and then the ticket sales are going to drop to $1. Josh Harris is like, yeah, I got business insurance. And if the Sixers lose me $100 million, I get a massive tax break because I own a football team and I own a hockey team and I own probably more real estate than anybody wants to know. And I make so much money every year that this massive business loss gives me a giant tax break. It's probably what it is, to be honest with you. It's probably what it is. All right, let's see what else, man. Let's see what else. Nick Nurse gives Toronto credit for giving the Sixers fits offensively, but says, I think we contributed more to their own struggles. He gives Toronto credit for giving the Sixers fits offensively, but he says the Sixers contributed more to their own struggles. This sounds so much like Doc Rivers, bro. You are the coach. So what did you say to these guys when Toronto was giving them fits? Nothing. You just kept doing the same thing. Hey, coach, I know our strategy is for Tyrese Maxey to ISO the whole game because he's really, really good, and you're a Tyrese Maxey merchant. What do we do when they trap Maxey at half court every play and make him get rid of the ball? Oh, damn. I didn't think of that. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Hey, coach, it's going really bad. They just made a 12-2 run, and we were up 3 at halftime, and now we're down 15. What should we do? You know what? Let's just keep doing the same thing, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow, bro. Let's just, you know. I feel like that's how it goes, man. What other tweets we got? Sixers committed a season-high 21 turnovers that led to 31 Toronto points. 21 turnovers. I feel like a ton of them were in that third quarter. Let me see again. The third quarter, man. Where are we at? Third quarter. Is this going to show me team stats for the third quarter? It is. Turnovers in the third quarter. No, that's total turnovers. They had 31 points off turnovers total. This doesn't show me turnovers in the third quarter alone. But we had 21 turnovers in the game. Keith Pompey is right about that. What else we got, man? Sixers were able to get the deficit down to 3, but the Raptors made some timely shots. Brutal third quarter dooms them again. It sure does. All right, Sixers reporters are boring the hell out of me. Let's just type Sixers into Twitter and read some tweets, and then we'll get out of here. And anything else you guys want to drop in the chat, go ahead and drop it. Hey, there's Nick Nurse's face. The countdown is on. Maxey is going to ask for a trade. Shout out to Jarrett Newsom, member of Sicko Nation. Shout out to Za, member of Sicko Nation. Shout out to Vlad, member of Sicko Nation. The members are in the building. Shout out to Lawrence Talley, member of Sicko Nation. Hi, man, I had a migraine and didn't even watch this game. I said fire Nurse and dumb Maury. Harris doesn't care as long as he sells tickets. Lawrence, sorry you had a migraine. I hope you're feeling better. If you would have watched this game, it would have made your migraine so much worse. So we're all glad that you did not watch this game for your own sake. And I think Josh Harris doesn't care even if he doesn't sell tickets. And I said, you know, why? I Show Key, also a member of the channel. Thank you for being here. Gee whiz, they were giving us fits, so I yelled at the ref. Yeah, I think that's what it is, man. Big OG Nick. I like this guy's tweets, man. I'm going to add him to my list. I like this guy's tweets, man. And we argue sometimes. That's cool. I like people that can argue with me and keep it real. You know what I mean? Sixers got $100 million worth of contracts on the bench in street clothes every other game. I'm tired of this shit. I'm still upset about the Eagles on Sunday, too. I'm not in a great place mentally right now, and I blame the Sixers and the Eagles. It's tough, bro. It's tough, man. And I do this for a living at this point. And it's crazy because, like, at a normal job, you can just clock out, right? If you don't own the business, if you're just working and, you just clock out. This building could burn down behind you and hey, I'll just go get another job, whatever. I don't care about this place. I hate this place. You know what I mean? But I'm doing a job that's based on me being a crazy Sixers fan because I've always been a crazy Sixers fan. So when they lose, I get so upset. It ruins my mood. Like, really. Like, I can't just clock out. I can't just clock out and walk away as the building's burning down. Like, it sticks with me because it's part of me, and that's the curse, I won, but at what cost? You know what I mean? I think they all just pass a blunt around at halftime locker room. I think that's probably true, too. Dicey21, I feel like more people aren't talking about how Sixers are wasting Maxey's prime and those contracts are on the books until 2029. What's Maxey supposed to do until then? Great point, Dicey. It's why they have to do something immediately. And it's early in the season right now. But Tyrese Maxey is 25. He's so damn good right now. It should be an emergency to build this roster around Tyrese Maxey. It should be an emergency. It should be urgent. Put a sticky note on Daryl Morey's computer. Whoever puts sticky notes there, put one on there. Urgent. Build roster around Maxey. He's too good for two other max contract guys to be on the bench every night. Give him a damn team. And so it's still early in this season. If they get healthy and turn it around, it is what it is. But if the 76ers don't get Joel Embiid and Paul George on the floor this season, and the same thing happens as last season, they need to make major changes this year. I thought they were going to do it last offseason. They didn't do it last offseason. Now you're talking about 2 years in a row wasting Maxi's prime, same way you wasted Joel Embiid's prime, same way you wasted Allen Iverson's prime. If they don't get those guys healthy this year, they need to find any way possible to get them off the books. Medical retirement, a trade for a bag of Pringles, I don't care. It's Maxi's team. Build it around Maxi. I'm sick of this shit. Sixers wasted Harden's prime. What? He was 34 and fat. The unfortunate part is they don't care like Sixers fans care. I agree. Maxi's value is high right now as we speak. We can get some good... Za, I'm going to tell you right now, man. Za, you're skating on thin ice, buddy. All right? You're skating on thin ice, pal. Okay? You get... I'm thinking of all the... asks a black couple, what's the white version of this, you know? And the dude says, you're skating on thin ice, buddy. And now I keep saying it, and then I was trying to think of like more like white dad things to say. You're getting on my last nerve, pal. You're skating on thin ice, buddy. Yeah, no. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. More no, more no, more no, another no, another no. More no. You have a 25-year-old superstar. And 2 dead contracts, guys that can't get on the floor. You don't trade your 25-year-old superstar and tank it out and build around VJ, who's 20 years old and hasn't proven anything. Come on, bro. You don't trade a 25-year-old superstar. You build around your 25-year-old superstar. Why would you trade him and start over? To hope that you can get another 25-year-old superstar? Come on, man. Za, you got better takes than that, bro. Come on, man. Trading Maxi would be pretty damn close to trading Luka. I agree. What else? The amount of brain dead plays by the Sixers this game is becoming uncountable. My guy RB. The Sixers are better than we expected, and they have a lot more depth than we thought, but the fact of the matter is they're going to be a middle-of-the-pack team until their 2 other max players can play consistently. I don't even think middle of the pack. I think they came back down to earth. I think Tyrese Maxey is the only reason they have any wins this season. And they're going to be, if they don't get Paul George and Joel Embiid on the floor, they're going to be a first-round exit with Tyrese Maxey scoring 40 points per game. Cool it, bucko. Dude, you're skating on thin ice, buddy. That shit took me out, man. That's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Another Sixers postgame live. They lost. I just feel like we're right back where we were last year, man. Hope if Joel Embiid and Paul George don't play tomorrow, I'm gonna be so mad.